Hi, Genki Call here. It is the week of March 20th, 2023, and we are in Sin of Mirage. Campaign tasks, we'll go over those first. First, for gold, we have kill the Queen of Sin 4 times. She is one of the mythics in Sin of Mirage. And explore Sin of Mirage 4 times at difficulty 8+. For silver, complete 2 treasure hunts with 60+ turns. Get 20 demon kills, or daemon if you prefer. Use the meteor banner for 10 wins, and craft 2 red summoning stones. For bronze, kill 1 treasure gnome. Win 2 dungeon battles, just the battles, not the whole dungeon. Open 2 event chests, earn 40 souls in battle, complete 1 delve at 90+, leveled 90+. Use a tome weapon for 3 wins, get 10 red kills. Use the Doomsayer class for 3 wins, match 60 red gems in battle, and use a Sin Mirage team for 3 wins. So, nothing, well, I mean, 2 treasure hunts. Some people don't like those. I think they're fun, but not the greatest use of your time in game if you're looking for resources. Anyway, we are in Sin Mirage this week, but before we go over the troops you can get with your event keys, let's head into the shop. Grab your spoils of war if you can afford it. Get all 10. It's a fantastic deal for event keys. The best you'll get in the game unless you find a wandering merchant or an angel that will give you something better. Next up, head into weekly event and grab the Bane of Mercy. This new troop, I hate her already. Why do I hate her? Because she's going to kick ass in Guild Wars on defense. Meh. Give attack to the first ally, convert yellow gems to purple to boost the effect, curse all enemies, and start battles with full mana. This is going to be really difficult to deal with in Guild Wars, which means we must have this troop. I must get this up to mythic level every single week, whatever the troop is, because that's one more level 20 troop for when I need it for my power levels. Power levels make a huge difference in this game, so if you can afford it, plus you get the arcanes and the trait stones and all of these other resources as well. So there is that. Now, let's go over what you can get with your event keys this week. Just right offhand, I'm going to say to save your event keys, possibly. Up to you. There is one very nice troop in here that you might want to try for. And base rarity. Let me just show all just in case I don't think I'm missing anything. The one I'm talking about is the Scourge of Honor. But let's do it in order. The Queen of Sin, she kind of sucks as a mythic, to be honest. True damage to the first 2 enemies only. Summon Wrath or less, then bless all demon allies. Well, the bless is nice, but it only works on demons. True damage, nice, but it's only 2 enemies. And the summons Lust, I just cannot stand this troop, and we'll go over that in a minute. And then Wrath is good. We'll go over that as well. Enemies lose 4 from a random skill point whenever an ally casts a spell. That could be anything. Could be magic, could be armor, attack, or life. Spell damage reduction and gain magic when an ally casts a spell. But then we have the Scourge of Honor. You may notice I've gold medaled this guy because he rocks. Love the Scourge of Honor. True damage to all enemies. Gain 2 mana back for each cursed or diseased enemy. It stacks. Curse and disease a random enemy when matching 4+ gems. Plus you explode a green gem at the start of battle. It means a little extra mana starting out, and he's got a little bit of immunity as well. It's a really good troop. Doesn't really have board control, but if you've got everybody cursed and diseased, you're getting a bunch of your mana back, so he doesn't cost that much to cast. Then we have Despond, and I really like this troop. This is when you deal damage to an enemy equal to their attack. If they've got a 200 attack, that's a lot of damage, especially if you have them fairy fired. It does stack with fairy fire, so you'll do an extra 50% damage if you have them fairy fired as well. But it's going to hit that troop and all troops above them for the same amount of damage. So you hit the bottom troop, you hit the entire team, regardless of whether they are submerged or not. Also will summon if you have an open spot. Most of the troops are going to explode a gem at the start of battle. I think they might all explode a gem at the start of battle. So, anyway, Impervious, drain 3 mana from a random enemy when matching 4 plus gems. So, that is also can be nice. Then we have the Hated Lust. Yeah, I hate this thing. Now, something that's very nice about her, if she's on your team, is that if one of your allies dies, you're going to charm a random enemy and make them kill themselves. That's why I hate fighting her, because that can decimate your team. What I don't like is that she has a chance to transform them into a succubus that does 2 charms on cast. He charms twice if he casts, or an incubus. We'll go over these troops in a minute, as soon as we get down to them, but I hate her spell. I hate fighting her, so I'm not very fond of this troop. Anyway, you will not be able to get Tartarus. He's from Depths of Sin. You will not be able to get him unless you use Chaos Shards in the Underworld at Depths of Sin. Next up is Wrath. That's one of the summons from Queen of Sin. He transforms blue gems to brown, yellow to skulls, enrages all allies, burns all enemies. He's part of one of my favorite skull spamming teams, the Skull Waterfall team, aka Boom Max Fun. Ah, love the team. Explodes 2 random gems when he deals skull damage. Watch the last 15 seconds of this video to find a pop-up showing you a video for that Boom Max Fun team. So that'll explain why I love this guy so much. But I mean, he is great for that particular team. But you know, he's also a double converter, and these can be very fun to use as well if you like using skulls. Abject of Despond. This guy will destroy all gems of the most used enemy color. I don't find that to be particularly useful myself. Then eliminates 3 magic from all enemies. That's kind of nice. And if Despond is on the team, eliminate 3 more. I mean, I've never actually used this guy because I don't really like his spell. His traits are nothing that are special, so generally I don't use him. Next up, we have the Barghast. Now, this guy will hit 2 enemies at once. And he burns and fairy fires them both, so he's going to deal damage to an enemy and the enemy directly below them. They don't have to be touching. This is not splash damage, so if you only have the top troop and the bottom troop left on the board, it's going to hit them both. We've got the Explodey, and a little extra magic for red allies, including himself. Bum, bum, bum. Next is the Broker of Greed. The Broker of Greed gives 5 to a random skill on 1 ally boosted by his gold. It's a 1-to-1 ratio, so if you have 100 gold, it's going to be 105 to a random skill. There are better options, but lose all my gold and explode 3 yellow gems. So, personally not interested in this troop, but he does have the greedy trait. And you get 25% bonus gold. He's got merchant as well, so. Next up is the Envoy of Pride. He is our Godslayer. We just did Raid Boss, so you should be familiar with what Godslayer is. 3 to 5 times damage to anything with a red border. No matter what it is, if it's got a red border, it will do that 3 to 5 times damage. If the enemy dies, steal 4 magic from all remaining enemies. That's nice. I mean, that's nice scaling right there. Gale Spirit Whisper. Hello. Deal damage to an enemy. If the enemy is a demon, there's a 50% chance to transform them into a wraith. Now, when this guy first came out, I hated this troop because when you're fighting a wraith, it has a trait that's going to death mark you if it hits you with skulls. However, with this, they have made some changes in the game since Lycanthropy came out. Now, if they transform, they're not going to have the trait. So it doesn't matter. You can transform them into a wraith and not worry about the death mark. So, more useful than he used to be. Gains magic when an ally casts a spell. He's a necromancer, get bonus souls from battle, and he reduces damage from spells by 25%. The Indolator of Sloth drains 4 mana from all enemies and he tanks up there with armor and life, and he does curse when you do skull damage and some skull damage reduction as well. I don't find the 4 mana drain to be enough, but he can tank up there, so if you don't have other options, he is something you can think about. You will not be able to get Ironjaw. He's from Depths of Sin. Pride does damage to an enemy, and for each of my skills that are greater than theirs, steal 3 magic. So that is 4. You can get a bonus of up to 12 magic if you're way higher than they are. For here, 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 and here. And he's impervious. That's always nice. He does that death mark when doing skull damage, just like the Wraith does. The Bane of Mercy, we already went over her, but let's get her maxed out so I can get my power level up here at Sin Mirage. Whee! Love that. Alright, come on. You take too long. But it is faster than doing it individually. Alright. Next up is the War Machine. This does damage to an enemy boosted by skulls. If the enemy is divine, deal triple damage. So taking this into Whitehelm, for instance, is going to do a lot of damage to one enemy. Explodes a skull at the start of battle. Double skull damage versus divines as well, and skull damage reduction. So he's great to run at the front of the team if you're going into a kingdom with lots of divine, or into a battle in general, just like if you're fighting a divine team, say in Guild Wars. They're using a divine-ish Vala team and the entire team is divine. You can take this guy in there and do extra 50% damage here, and double damage here and triple damage on the spell. So with the skull damage reduction, it's pretty nice. Glutmaw and Gluttony, they both devour. They seem to devour at a much higher rate when the AI is controlling them, go figure. This curses and stuns one enemy. There's a chance to devour a random enemy boosted by enemy deaths. So every single one of the troops that have died is an additional 5% chance to devour. I've had this darn thing devour my entire team. I wanted to smack him. Got a little spell damage reduction as well. Then we have Gluttony. He's going to explode 4 gems of an enemy's mana color. It's not a lot of mana generation, but 20% chance straight up. Can't affect this. It's going to have that 25% chance to devour even if it's webbed. And it itself is immune to devour. So next up we have the Maid of Envy. She does damage to an enemy. If the enemy has full mana, you're going to drain it all. It's risky. It's risky to wait to cast her. And she only hits one enemy. She does gain 1 magic when an ally casts a spell, but it's not much. Sibyl of Lust is she's a summons, isn't she? Explode 1 purple gem boosted by demon allies. At most, you're going to explode 5 gems. That's it. It's not a lot of mana gen, but she does start with 75% mana and the initial purple explode at the start of the battle. You won't be able to get the Infernal Machine or Demi-Naga. Those are both from Depths of Sin. Next up, we have Envy. This guy can be really strong, depending upon the circumstances. You use this guy in Arena, and he will just kill everything. Damage to the 2 strongest enemies, boosted by enemies at full life or full mana. And it boosts, if they're full life and full mana, even more damage. And double skull damage versus enchanted enemies, and if they explode, and stealthy. Then we have Greed. This is part of the meta team for Ironhawk. You don't have to have this. You can use Sister Superior instead, but this is a good way to get some extra gold while you're farming with Ironhawk. But because of the explosion at the start of battle, it will slow things down a little bit. Just saying. Next up is the Soldier of Wrath. This guy is really good for bounty. He does true damage to an enemy boosted by red gems. Bounty Hunter. Yeah, he's really good. He's a really good one to run with Tagraki Warrior if you're going the true damage route. There are others that do true damage as well, but Sloth, drain all mana from all allies and enemies, gain life equal to mana drained. This can be significant if they're really high level, or if you're in arena. Again, really good for arena. Really a pain to fight in arena. And he's immune to frozen and does freeze when he does skull damage. So anyway, those are the troops that you have available in the drop table. Now, I did say you might want to save your event keys for next week. That is entirely up to you. Scourge of Honor is really excellent. As far as the rest of these, whether they're worth it to you to spend your gem or your event keys on, that's up, that's your personal preference, as I said. But the reason I said you might want to wait, power level. Love it. See what my bonus is. Hold on. I interrupted myself. Ooh, and that's a really good one. Extra chance to have those tributes come in every hour is excellent. The reason I said you might not want to save your, you might want to save your event keys for next week if you're still trying to get the troops from Sword's Edge. Now, I have managed to get all of them except for one. I haven't been able to get the legendary yet. So you might want to save some to get the troops here. It's the only way to target the new troops from Sword's Edge is to use your event keys when we go there next week. Next Monday. All right, next up, events this week. We still have the Kingdom Pass going on for 1 week. You've got 1 week to finish it up. And then no more Battle Crashers for a little while until the next event. Then we also have for our bonus 10% this week, Cinemirage and Demons. So Demons from Cinemirage get plus 20%. And then if you take the Bane of Mercy into PvP and or Explore, you'll get an additional 40 souls per battle. As far as upcoming events this week, we've got tomorrow is Depths of Sin Faction Assault. I will have, please, in the last 15 seconds of this video, I will have a video showing you teams and info on Sin of Mirage. If you need that information, it will be there for you. On Wednesday, we have Beals, the pet. On Thursday, we have the Doomsayer class trial, and this weekend, we have Bounty for Vulpecea. We've got a new Vulpecea troop coming out, and it doesn't look too bad. It's going to be an either or. I don't know, some good rewards for Bounty, especially now that we've got some good orbs for the rewards. Good orbs possible for the rewards. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video. More is coming your way as soon as I can. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you folks soon.